In this short video, I want to show you some of the things you can do with an IoT device. In this particular case, I'm using the Arduino Wi-Fi module, in which you program using C#, .NET, or the micro framework, and Visual Studio as your debugger. Of course, what I show you here is a very simplistic perspective of all the kinds of things you can do. It's not only limited to some of these things you're seeing here in this demo, but nonetheless, I hope to give you just a brief demo in this video about some of the things you can do, and also using the Cortana voice command capabilities on your desktop or laptop, phone, etc. So the application you're going to see here is a Windows UWP application that can run the same application, same code can run on your desktop, the phone, Surface, etc., any Windows platform. So let's just check it out and see how that goes. Alright, what you see here is an IoT controlled board. This is the Arduino. This is the .NET version. It's a Wi-Fi version of the Arduino board, and it's connected to the internet. Essentially, it's talking to Service Bus in Azure. And there are a few applications that can send this board various messages through Service Bus. I have a web application, and I also have a Cortana based phone application here that I'll be demonstrating in this video. The Arduino has a few ways it can do things in terms of control. One is it can control the three LEDs here, the red, green, and the blue LEDs. The blue LED turn on is also connected to the relay, which effectively you can turn on and off any high voltage mains driven appliance, bulbs and things like that. I won't be actually showing you the connection there, but you'll hear the relay going on and off when the blue LED goes on and off. And then the Arduino also has the ability to control a servo. So the servo typically has 180 degrees of motion, and you can control it to go to any degree as you want, between 0 and 180. And then a DC motor. There's the H bridge for the DC motor, essentially allowing the DC motor to switch directions. And from the Arduino here, we send in a pulse width modulated signal controlling the speed of the motor, and so between the H bridge and the PWM you have the ability to control the speed of the motor and the direction of rotation. So let's start with the first version, the first thing that's turning on and off these LED lights using Cortana on my cell phone. Hey Cortana, turn on the red LED using controller. That didn't work. Turn on the red LED using controller.
Please unlock your device.
Alright. We do that. I guess I could do it again. Turn on the red LED using controller. I need to get closer to the phone. Turn on the red LED using controller.
Okay, turning on red LED.
There goes the red one. Turn on the blue LED using controller.
Turning on blue LED.
I can hear the relay come on as well, and there's a light on the relay you can see that's turned on. Switch off all LEDs using controller.
Sure, all LEDs will be turned off.
So that's that. Now let's look at the motor speed control here. Okay, let me just pick up the phone here. Set motor to clockwise, speed 45% using controller.
Okay. Setting motor to clockwise with speed 45%.
Set motor to clockwise, speed 90% using controller.
Sure. Setting motor to clockwise with speed 90%.
Set motor to anti-clockwise, speed 100% using controller.
Setting motor to anti-clockwise with speed 100%.
Turn off the motor using controller.
Sure thing. Turning off the motor.
Okay, so that takes care of the motor, and now we have the servo. Now, with my pronunciation of the word servo, it does have some difficulty trying to understand it, so it might take a few tries here. Set servo position 45 degrees using controller.
Sure. Servo will be moved to position 45 degrees.
Set servo position 180 degrees using controller.
Sure. Servo will be moved to position 180 degrees.
That about takes care of the Cortana voice command demo here using the IoT controller. As I said, there's a phone application. In this case, there's a Cortana based phone application or voice command based phone application. There's also a web application. And of course the Netwino essentially just talking to service bus. So these two applications are basically just sending messages to service bus, and those messages are then received by the Netwino that controls the different operations here.